NewsHour Special Edition.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching the NewsHour Special Edition with me, Priya Behel. Just 5 days to go for the Mahabharat to well and truly begin for the mandate of nearly 1 billion voters. 9 days after Congress put out its 48-page manifesto called the Nyay Patra, today it was the BJP's turn to present their 76-page long dossier dubbed the Sankalp Patra. The manifesto aims to build on the achievements of the last 10 years of the NDA and supercharge growth for a Viksit Bharat. The biggest promises include one nation, one poll, a continued crackdown on corruption, and a nationwide uniform civil code, among much else.
हमारे लिए दल से बड़ा देश है। हम वन नेशन, वन इलेक्शन के विचार को भी साकार करने का संकल्प लेकर के आगे बढ़ेंगे। बीजेपी यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड को भी देश हित में उतना ही आवश्यक समझती है। भ्रष्टाचार गरीब का हक छीनता है। अब गरीब को उसका हक मिल रहा है और गरीब को लूटने वाले जेल जा रहे हैं। भ्रष्टाचारियों पर ऐसे ही निरंतर सख्त कार्रवाई होती रहेगी, ये मोदी की गारंटी है। भाजपा देश के कोने कोने में वंदे भारत ट्रेनों का भी विस्तार करेगी। अब भाजपा का संकल्प है उत्तर, दक्षिण, पूर्व, पश्चिम चारों दिशाओं में एक एक बुलेट ट्रेन के प्रोजेक्ट से हम आधुनिकता की तरफ जाने को गति देंगे।
Now, as you can expect, however, the opposition is thoroughly unimpressed by BJP's vision. They've gone ahead and called it a Jumla Patra, and they say that it should instead have been an apology letter of sorts, that it should have been a maafinama for the unfulfilled promises.
30 मार्च को आज से महज 13 दिन पहले घोषणा पत्र कमेटी का गठन हुआ और 13 दिन में मैनिफेस्टो बनके तैयार है। आसान रहा होगा, जुमला पत्र है, क्या करना है, 4 जुमले इधर चिपकाओ, मित्र की एक लिस्ट आई होगी, अमित शाह और मोदी जी ने बैठकर उसको कॉपी पेस्ट किया होगा और नड्डा जी ने बढ़िया फोटो कॉपी निकाली होगी। इसलिए 13 दिन में मैनिफेस्टो तैयार होकर आपके सामने।
कितना नौकरी देंगे नहीं देंगे इसके बारे में कोई चर्चा रोजगार की, नौकरी की नहीं है। बिहार जैसे गरीब प्रदेश, बिहार के साथ साथ और जितने गरीब प्रदेश हैं, उनको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कुछ नहीं, केवल इधर उधर की बातें। ना महंगाई कैसे खत्म करेंगे इसके बारे में कुछ जिक्र है तो बता दीजिए कि जो महंगाई है, गरीबी है, गरीबी को कैसे खत्म करेंगे इसके बारे में भी कोई जिक्र नहीं है। और हालांकि बीजेपी लोगों ने क्या क्या नहीं कहा है 10 सालों का,
पिछले 10 साल से पूरे नहीं किए, उसका पूरा कच्चा चिट्ठा सामने आ गया है। बहुत हुई बेरोजगारी की मार। अब की बार मोदी सरकार, मोदी जी ने वादा किया था, या ये कहें कि 2014 में भी मोदी जी ने जुमला दिया था कि हम हर साल 2 करोड़ नौकरियां देने वाले हैं। लेकिन आज 10 साल बाद 2024 के इस जुमले पत्र में वो नौकरियों का आंकड़ा देने को भी तैयार नहीं है।
Now, it's only natural for the BJP to tom-tom and the opposition to find faults in the Saffron Party's mission statement. But it is what the Prime Minister said at the rallies after the manifesto release that has set the agenda for this debate. The Prime Minister has pointed out why the promises that are being made by those in the opposition are dangerous and demonstrate how not only are they not serious about their commitments being made to the country, but are in fact looking to weaken and divide India.
आप इंडी गठबंधन की स्थिति देखिए, वो तय कर नहीं पा रहे हैं कि घोषणा पत्र एक जिम्मेवारी होती है। उनके सभी साथी आपस में उलट पुलट ही कर रहे हैं। उनके घोषणा पत्र में एक से बढ़कर एक खतरनाक वादे हैं। अब देखिए, उनका एक साथी का घोषणा पत्र कहता है कि देश को आर्थिक रूप से दिवालिया बनाने वाला घोषणा पत्र उनका है। आप इंडी गठबंधन की स्थिति देखिए, एक उनकी साथी का घोषणा पत्र कहता है कि भारत से परमाणु हथियार खत्म कर देंगे। कोई देश ऐसा सोचेगा क्या? जब दुश्मनों के पास इतनी ताकत हो और हम ये कह रहे हैं कि हम परमाणु हथियार नष्ट कर देंगे, ये किसकी भलाई के लिए बोल रहे हो भाई? जैसी घातक इनकी सोच है, वैसा ही घातक उनका घोषणा पत्र है। कांग्रेस पार्टी आज टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग की सुल्तान बनकर घूम रही है। देश को बांटने, तोड़ने और कमजोर करने के कांग्रेस पार्टी के खतरनाक इरादे आज भी वैसे ही है।
All right, so is it going to be Modi's guarantee or what the opposition is promising? Khatakat solutions or fatafat manifestos that the voters are going to go with? To answer those questions, I'm now joined by Shubhrashta, who's author and founder of The Churn, Tushar Gupta, political analyst, also joins us, Syed Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst. Welcome to the broadcast, sir. And Dr. Nikul Patel, Congress leader, is also joining us on the broadcast. My first question to you, Nikul Patel, what do you make of BJP's Sankalp Patra?
Mallika Arjun Khadke ji in February itself had come with the black paper where it was the failure of Bharatiya Janata Party in last 10 years. We have seen that unemployment, price rise, and distress in farmers, education, government employees. So many things were discussed there, and this time when it comes with what the manifesto, what Bharatiya Janata Party comes out with, is the 10-year assessment we have to see. And if we see, then definitely whatever they have asked in 2014, they have not been fulfilled, the real demand of the people of the country. And that's why we come with the states that it should be a maafinama, that they are not able to fulfill the things.
Okay, no, but the Prime Minister is saying that while they are promising a vision, they are giving you a roadmap for 2047 for development. What is your party promising? He says that there are things that your party leaders are saying and promising that just go on to show how non-serious they are. Like, when you talk of making a 1 lakh rupee deposit in every poor household's account, how do you think you are going to fulfill that?
That's the policy. If you see how we'll be able to manage, as what Bharatiya Janata Party asking that we are not able to do it. If you see Karnataka, we promised that we'll be giving electricity in this rate, and if you go down there, now every household is finding that they are getting electricity at what rate they want. So
okay, Tushar Gupta is very vehemently nodding his head, and I'll let him answer this point about Karnataka.
Well, free bus rides and subsidized electricity is not equivalent to legalizing MSP and giving rupees 1 lakh to every woman in a poor household. The Congress doesn't even know how they will decide the household. The Congress doesn't know what's the quantum of these households. How many crore are they looking at? And look at the difference between the Congress and the BJP. The Congress says we'll give away rupees 1 lakh to poor women in the household in the rural areas. They don't tell you the quantification. Look at the BJP in contrast. They say we'll enable women to earn rupees 1 lakh, and they're putting a number. They're saying we'll enable 3 crore women. We've already enabled 1 crore women to earn rupees 1 lakh or more. So look at the difference between dependency that the Congress wants to create and the Atmanirbharta that the BJP wants to create. And I've been listening to all the Congress spokespersons since this morning, since the manifesto was released. Not one of them has come up with any constructive criticism of this manifesto. All they are saying is this is Jumla, no promises have been fulfilled. My simple question to them is, have they been living under a rock to miss what 52 crore Jan Dhan accounts have done, 11 crore pipe water connections, 10 crore Ujjwala connections? I mean, the list can go on and on. 50 crore people covered under Ayushman Bharat. Look at how the people are responding to the decision of having Ayushman Bharat cover extended to everyone above the age of 70, irrespective of the economic status. That is how a government works for the people. Look at the Mudra loan beneficiaries. 46 crore loans already given. And now the government trusts the beneficiaries. They're expanding the upper limit to rupees 20 lakh. And mind you, what the Congress said, when the Mudra program was announced. They said that this program will lead to NPA. This program will create a banking crisis. This is what their economists said at the onset of the Mudra program. And today we have 46 crore loans, 31 crore loans to women. And now we are looking at the upper limit, which was earlier rupees 10 lakh, being expanded to rupees 20 lakh. My simple answer or my response to the Congress people is look at the manifesto without the filter of politics, and you'll realize on one hand there is empowerment and enablement, and on the other hand, on the Congress's side, it's just dependency and promises that cannot be fulfilled.
But is it promises like, I'm going to eradicate poverty in one fell swoop, something that Congress wants to go with, Syed Asad Abbas, because it's just easier to promise, even though it might be difficult to follow through, but it might get votes?
As a matter of fact, let me tell you, the fact we need to understand, the political analyst who just happened to speak before me, he showed so many problems about Karnataka subsidy electricity. Respected sir, have you even read the BJP manifesto? BJP manifesto also speaks of free electricity to poor households.
No.
तो कांग्रेस करे तो वार, बीजेपी करे तो प्यार, ये कैसा अत्याचार भाई साहब? पूरी तरह से पढ़िए. Also a point, let me bring to you notice, ma'am, that yes, Congress promises 1 lakh per account, 8,500 rupees per month. But what about Bharatiya Janata Party, which spoke of 15 lakh into its account? Was that just a jumlebazi, like Amit Shah ji said? Not just that. What happened to that? Jobs, 2 crore jobs per year. So for the last 10 years, BJP in power, where is the account for 20 crore jobs? Don't give me jumlebazi. Show me a proper record of 20 crore jobs. The fact of the matter is, as per the International Labour Organization, India today needs job. 80% of urban Indian youth is unemployed, who are seeking for jobs. What about that?
No, but
Jumlebazi?
Syed Asad Abbas, what does Congress manifesto say about giving jobs?
Congress manifesto must and should give jobs, be it Congress manifesto or even Bharatiya Janata Party or even the CPIM left.
What does Congress manifesto say about giving jobs?
Left. It certainly does. In fact, if you see at Karnataka, there is Yuva Nidhi, which speaks about jobs, which speaks about giving incentives to the youth of Karnataka. Not just that, even if you see Gruha Lakshmi in Karnataka, Gruha Jyoti, which has been across the length and breadth of the state of Karnataka, they have implemented successfully under the able leadership of Siddaramaiah ji and DK Shivkumar. This is the duplicity and hypocrisy of BJP. When Congress is providing free bus rides to women, they have a problem. But when they say of free electricity in their manifesto, then it is no problem.
I'm not saying free electricity.
What kind of hypocrisy and duplicity is this?
Policy. That is not free electricity. Please read the manifesto clearly.
I have read the manifesto.
Free electricity like
Have you not
Kejriwal
read
does.
free electricity
the BJP is
to poor
talking about the
households?
solar energy policy,
Sir,
which will help the people bring down the electricity
the problem
bills
is,
to zero
Mr.
and
Sir,
sell
the
surplus
problem
to
is
the
when
government.
Congress
There is
comes up to you, call it a Muslim manifesto.
between
But
what you're
when
saying and what
BJP
is
does
actually being
it, then it
proposed.
is okay. I think दोहरे मापदंड नहीं होने चाहिए भाई साहब. No duplicity, no hypocrisy.
मैनिफेस्टो पढ़िए ना, आप मैनिफेस्टो ध्यान
So,
से पढ़
अरे
नहीं गए।
मैनिफेस्टो से
आपको
बोल रहे हैं
solar
free
energy
electricity
policy के
नहीं
बारे
है
में
क्या?
पता नहीं है, आप कह रहे हैं
Have you
बिजली
read
कर रहे हैं।
free
कहीं
electricity
बात नहीं
to
है
poor
बिजली
households?
करने की। बात
Free
ये है
electricity
कि
to
जो
poor
लोग
households in
beneficiary
BJP
solar
manifesto.
energy की तरफ जाएंगे,
So why are you blind
उनके
to
घरों
it,
के
sir? Why are
बिजली
you
बिल कम
deaf
हो
to
जाएंगे,
it?
शून्य हो
Is
जाएंगे।
it okay? The fact
This
is,
is a
the
nudge
duplicity
for the
and
people
hypocrisy
to
of
go for renewable
BJP
energy
is when they
sources.
do it, it's
Please
okay.
understand
When
the
Congress
long-term
do it,
impact
it's
of the
wrong.
policy before you
Now
blabber.
tell me, how is it not Revdi politics? Tushar Gupta, tell me, how is it not Revdi politics
How is
when
it
you say
Revdi
free
politics?
electricity
Tell
to
me.
poor
If
households?
people are being asked to take mudra
So when
loans,
you do
which
it,
they
it's
have to pay
okay.
back to the banks, how
No.
is it Revdi politics?
You're
If people are
contradicting
being held
yourself,
cover for
sir.
above the
When
age
you
of
speak
70,
of
how is it
Karnataka,
Revdi
look at the
politics?
politics,
Okay.
what you're doing. Look at your own
Shubhraj,
manifesto.
while this debate and the fine line between bravery and welfare has been a long-standing debate, does it eventually boil down to the feasibility of it when somebody says and talks about generics like 1 lakh rupees per household? Do you think that the mathematics has been done, or has politics taken over and the actual economics has completely been ignored?
I think we should remember that India, when we talk about India, we are talking about the world's second largest population. Perhaps we'll become the largest in a couple of years. Let's understand that any politician worth their salt, if they offer something like 1 lakh rupees per household, I don't think they have done politics on ground. And if they have done politics on ground, their idea of economics is really skewed. I would like to take on from where Tushar left. Tushar actually said it very succinctly when he talked about enablement versus the kind of debate that Rahul Gandhi tries to rake up every Lok Sabha elections. I think Mr. Modi's manifesto this time has very clearly underscored, earmarked, put it within quotes that this government and this politics is all about empowerment and enablement. It is not about free reveries, and I'll tell you why and how. Let us understand. Let's keep healthcare out of this, because I think in the healthcare sector, the government, the opposition and the people who support the opposition as analysts are free to call it reverie politics, but we all know the grim realities of India's healthcare structure. I think Prime Minister Modi leaving the healthcare part has made it amply clear that he's going to stand as an enabler, be it in the farming sector, be it under the Mudra loan, on the entrepreneurship section. The very fact that, let's understand that in manifestos, you don't generally talk about concrete numbers. But here is a prime minister who is actually telling us that Mudra loan is going to now increase the limit is going to increase from 10 lakh to 20 lakh. So when it happens, let's understand it also opens up a new kind of debate on jobs and economy in this country. Today, when the entire opposition is hell-bent to prove that it's the primary responsibility of the government to go to every individual household, figure out who the youngsters are, and start doling out government jobs to them, here is a prime minister who is actually sticking out his head in the open and saying that you have to be your own job creators, and I'm here to ensure that you do that. From 10 lakh rupees, we are ensuring that you will get 20 lakh rupees if need be. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of recruitments right now, because we all know the systemic rot that this country has become when it comes to individual sectors, across the aisle. Let's look at what he talked about healthcare. And it is important for, analysts like us to underscore the point that even healthcare in the US is not a universal one. They are complete. We are talking about a super developed economy. There also the issue of healthcare divides the entire country into multiple fractions. But here in India, the prime minister actually lays out and says that I'm not only going to give you subsidized medicines, I'll also ensure that a lot of people who are left out will come under the ambit. And when he mentions that, he actually talks about all those people who have not been a part of the formalized economy. He talks about vendors, and please correct me if I'm wrong, he talked about rickshaw pullers and all of that. Which prime minister in this country till now has ever even thought about it? Forget about a prime minister. Which political leader, young, quote unquote, young 50-year-old political leader has talked about unorganized sector in a non-patronizing way, has given concrete solutions as to how to go about things? So let us really not confuse between certain, of course, that is election time. Of course, there is going to be real politics. Of course, there are going to be a couple of freebies here and there, but let's look at the larger picture.
And Nico, Prime Minister also pointed out today that if you had this solution with you, with your party for the last 60 years, what were you doing with that magic wand? Where was this magician hiding for the last 60 years?
Last 60 years, we have given so many things. If I am talking of 2004 to 2014, Manrega is one of the biggest employment scheme what government proposed, and at that time, Bharatiya Janata Party said that from where the money will come. Actually, we have given Manrega as the best employment scheme in the entire thing. Now we are planning it for the urban areas also, and that is what is proposed in our manifesto. Now, if the government being the largest money collector, and if they are not providing the basic education and basic healthcare structure, I would like to quote about new education policy, which our Pradhan Mantri was cursing about Congress. The new education policy itself says that the government will spend 6% of GDP in education, but till date, you can see it was announced in 2020, only 1%, less than 1% is being spent. And we see how the education is suffering. 1 lakh schools are there where only one teacher is there. Now, when thinking of a health sector, we want to have more doctors, and those more doctors must not be becoming Dr. Atmanirbhar. It's the government responsibility to open government medical college. Gujarat model with which this government come into picture, I would like to say in Vidhan Sabha, after 1995, not a single government medical college has been opened in Gujarat. Now, I would like to know from both the friends who are supporting a manifesto of BJP, I would like to know that suppose the suppose your manifesto is moving towards Atmanirbharta, should every sector is becoming Atmanirbharta, education as well as the medical as well as the everything what is there in the country?
One quick retort, Tushar, and then I really want to move on to the dangerous part that eventually all this boils down to today. Tushar, quick retort.
We have given nothing. We have given. We have Congress is saying they have done a lot for the country. Since the Congress is saying they've done a lot for the country before 2014, let me take this opportunity to remind them that the Jan Aushadhi Kendra program was started in 2008. Between 2008 and 2014, the Congress government opened just 80 Jan Aushadhi Kendras across the country that offer affordable medicines to people across the economic strata. Between 2014 and 2024 today, the Modi government has opened more than 10,500 Kendras. Let's talk about the DBTs. The Congress government in January 2014, weeks before the national election, discontinued their pilot DBT project for LPG subsidy because they feared electoral backlash. Compare this with the Modi government, rupees 34 lakh crore worth of DBTs in the last 10 years. Let's talk about medical and healthcare also. The Congress in their manifesto is only talking about the reservation, either through EWS route or through the Diversity Commission. The Congress in its manifesto says we are going to establish a Diversity Commission that's going to measure, monitor and promote employment and enrollment.
Let me just quickly take a quick segue there, because we are talking about Congress right now, but the Prime Minister has also highlighted what Congress's allies have been promising, and I could quickly quote what the CPIM manifesto says, that the Prime Minister says is khatarnak and ghatak for India. It says we work for complete elimination of nuclear weapon and other weapons of mass destruction, including chemical and biological weapons. Nikul Patel, do you think this is in India's interest? Do you think is in the interest of a country that you keep? Yes, Mr. Abbas, you'll also get a right to respond. Let me just take one quick reaction from Nikul Patel, because they are the allies with the left that is now promising an endeavor that was meant to strengthen India.
I would like to recall a history, Pokhran 1, when it was done and who had done it.
Yes. And your point B?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yes, you are. What was Pokhran 1 and who do it?
Who was the one who
established?
Who was the one?
I'm just asking, what is the point you're trying to make here, apart from checking my general knowledge?
You are telling me that Congress is an ally of CPI and the CPI manifesto. Congress supporting it? Your question was whether we are supporting it or not. That is what you are asking.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
So my answer to the question is, what was Pokhran 1 and when happened it? That is what I am telling. I think the answer is there in it.
No, I think that question is more for the left than for me as an anchor of Times Now.
No, I'm telling you.
Can I answer that?
Yes, Mr. Abbas. I'll come to you. Yes, Mr. Abbas.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it's very simple one. I think when it comes to the sovereign nation like India, we certainly do need biological weapons and not just nuclear weapons. The Congress must and should not concur with the left parties in this front. Also, as a matter of fact, a much larger point I'd like to make. Shubhrasta ji mentioned about subsidizing the medicines. Respected ma'am, when the Aam Aadmi Party in New Delhi, in the Mohalla clinic, spoke of the same, you called it freebies, you called it reveries. What kind of duplicity and hypocrisy is this of the Bharatiya Janata Party? No, allow me to complete, ma'am. 30 seconds, please.
Can you
take it one by one? Let her answer that.
Allow me 30 seconds, ma'am. I'll complete and then hear her completely. Now, Tushar Gupta mentioned the same about free education.
I think,
allow me 30 seconds.
Since I have last 2 minutes left, I really must get everybody's opinion in on what the left is promising. Tushar, you wanted to say something to Mr. Nikul.
I just wanted to tell Mr. Patel, since he was talking about Pokhran 1, the Congress of 1974 would wash off the hands of the Congress of 2024 and what it has become. So please do not attribute this Congress's work or intent to Pokhran 1. Please don't.
No, but I find it really interesting that Mr. Nikul Patel is not committing to saying anything. Now, very soon, Sanjay Singh has recently met the leaders of the India Alliance. He met Kharge. There is going to be a common manifesto that is going to come out. My simple question, to which the answer could be a yes or a no to the Congress, is, will you support this proposition or not?
They should absolutely not support this.
I answered your question. What is?
No, sir, you did not. Tell me a yes or a no. Do you agree that India should throw away its nuclear weapons?
Again, I will say your answer lies in my answer that who did it Pokhran 1 and whose regime was that? That is the answer. You must get it. I think you are not able to understand it. You don't want to accept
Sir,
that.
as a voter
you
of
don't
this
want to
country, I'm
accept or-
definitely not able to understand this. But
You are not able to
unfortunately,
understand. I am
we have
really stunned
we have
about it.
run out of time. Probably once your India Alliance meeting takes place and you can come up with an answer, a coherent answer to give to the voters of this country, you might be able to make people understand what does the India Alliance want and what do they stand for, instead of just coming up with rhetorical statements and slogans. Thank you, gentlemen, and Subhrashta for joining me. We take a very quick break.